It's a well-known principle in Yiddishkeit that everything exists in three dimensions: Olam, Shana, and Nefesh. Olam means physical space, Shana means time, and Nefesh means the soul. Just as the holiest moment of the entire year in Shana, in time, is Ne'ilah Yom Kippur. The holiest place in the world is the Kodesh HaKadoshim in Yerushalayim, the Holy of Holies in Jerusalem. And the holiest Jew, the holiest soul, the holiest nefesh in the world is the high priest, is the Kohen Gadol. And so we have throughout the year, everything is coordinated, everything is arranged in these three dimensions of Olam, Shana, and Nefesh. According to the Sfarim HaKadoshim, according to the Tzaddikim, Slichas night, when we come to Slichas, we are at that point in physical space that's called the gates of Jerusalem. It says in the pasuk, David HaMelech said that our feet were standing in the gates of Yerushalayim. That gateway, that Pesach, that opening into Yerushalayim, in time, is the night of Slichas, because Slichas is that entrance, is that gateway into the world of the Yimei HaRotzen, the Yamim Nora'im, the holy days of Rosh Hashanah, of Yom Kippur. And the Tzaddikim explain when it says, Omdos Ragleinu b'Sharach Yerushalayim, Ragleinu, which means feet or legs, also is Hergel. And Hergel means habit. Omdos Ragleinu b'Sharach Yerushalayim means that throughout the entire year we develop certain habits and we sort of move along with a certain momentum. And when it comes to the night of Slichas, the hergel, the habit, the boredom, the momentum has to come to an end, to a stop. As a Jew stands in that place before the opening, he wants to go in. He wants to find an opening into holiness. What is it that's different when a person is standing in the Shar, in the gate of Yerushalayim? What's different is that the entire year, the main concern of a person, unfortunately, is what do others think of us? How do others judge us? What does my boss think? What does my friend think? What do my parents think? What do my in-laws think? What do my children think? What does my husband think? My wife think? We're always thinking about how we're being evaluated, how we're being judged. This is the entire year. And as a result of that, it's certainly very simple, very common for a person to fall into shitchias, into shallowness, and to be preoccupied with this thought of what do they think of me. Suddenly, when a person is standing by the gate of Yerushalayim, Slichas night, there's another question that begins to enter into his mind. Now the question is, what does the Master of the universe think of me? How does he evaluate me? Is he pleased with me? Is he satisfied with what I've done this past year? Does he love me? When we stand by the opening to Yerushalayim, as we prepare to enter into Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, more than anything, we want to find favor in the eyes of the Master of the universe. The question is, how do we do that? There are three basic ways of entering into the gate of Yerushalayim. The first way that a Jew can enter into the gate of Yerushalayim, can come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at this time of the year, is in the way of an Eved. An Eved, of course, classically means a slave or a servant. Nowadays, we'd like to think that it means an employee. Most employees feel that they're enslaved. And the relationship of employment oftentimes causes the employee to realize, to be honest, and to acknowledge, to admit that if he goes through the entire year and he thinks about how he spent his moments at work, if he thinks about how honest, how diligent, how careful he was with every penny that belongs to the boss, to the firm, to the employer. So after an entire year, as you know, it often turns out that the Eved, the worker, the slave, the employee, realizes that at the end of the year that Itaka wasn't so good, and that there were times that he really wasn't so focused, that he really wasn't thinking of what's best for the boss. He was thinking more of himself. And as a result of that, The books are not always 100% accurate. Things are not stimming. They don't work out 100%. And he's been caught. And the boss calls him in for this big meeting. And the boss tells him, Yankel, and he takes out from September all the records, all the papers, and you weren't here when you were supposed to be here. And they have a log of all the time on the internet. It turns out that it was mostly like cartoons and baseball statistics instead of what he was supposed to be doing. So what's the Eved supposed to say? What does the worker say? He says, Adoni, my master, or in modern terms, sir, the truth is that I wasn't entirely faithful to the corporation, to you. You have everything in writing. As a result of my negligence, I upset the order. I upset the seder of the operation of the entire firm. It's true. And I feel guilty. I feel bad. Sir, I know that you are disappointed in me. I did not fulfill my responsibilities as I agreed to in my contract, and I understand that you have every reason to terminate my employment, which is properly known as fire me. And I understand that. You have every right to do that. But I beg of you, my master, my king. You know, if you look right here in my wallet, now he takes out a picture of his wife and kids. I have a big family. We have a nice home. I have tuitions in yeshiva. I have a tremendous amount of expenses. So I'm asking you that despite my failure this past year, Anna Hashem, I beg of you, sir, to please give me another chance to prove myself. It'll be a better year. I'll be more honest. I'll be more careful. I'll be more meticulous in all the details of my work. Ki anu avodecha va'ata elokeinu. On Yom Kippur we say, we are your slaves. Hashem, we are your servants, and you're our God, you're our master. So too this person says, Ani avodecha, I am your servant. And I'll try to do a better job. Of course, he concludes this with a request for a bonus. What about that bonus we spoke about? Is there any way we could still work that out? Because we all want to have more children, we want to have more parnasa, and we want to have more nachis, more good health. Anu avadecha va'ata elokeinu, we your servants, we botched up, we're going to try to do better. That's the first way of coming to the master of the world. That's the first way we feel we can muster up the courage to come into the gate of Yerushalayim. There's a second and a sweeter way. They don't contradict. All of them are true. So we say, Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu means our Father. So we have the way of a child. The child was rebellious. The child did not behave. I'm not talking about a 5-year-old, talking about a little bit older. Someone who knows better. The entire